that you haven't been doing that you want to do, you need to do, or you don't know how to do. Oh, you did hit record. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marketing Minute.
Good morning. If you're new here, I'm Julie.
And I am Jess.
Today,
and together.
I was going to skip over that. Together,
All right.
we're socially inclined.
All right. We're off to a great start. Cut.
No, it's
Right
good. Today's topic is taking imperfect action, which might look like we've gotten off to that start today. But anyway, you got to do the thing. So we just asked in the chat, we've been here for a few minutes, for everyone to sort of drop something that they've maybe been procrastinating on, feel like it's too big of a project. It could be really anything. It can be a 15-minute something that you just keep putting off for some reason. Whatever it is, list something that you're sort of procrastinating on that you'd like to get over the hump. And we're going to suggest the ways to take imperfect action to do that.
Exactly.
I do know that for me, that if something feels too big, if I don't have enough time to do it, I will avoid it until I feel like I can have enough time. And then sometimes that never happens because we're busy, like running our business, and we have
He gives it
lives.
to me.
Well, so, yeah. So we're going to make some suggestions, and then we're going to talk about something that I did recently that it'll give you a great example of how to execute this. So, and in that same vein, there are a lot of people who starting their business. They stay in planning mode. They don't actually execute. So this can be, something small, but it also can just be getting that first thing going in your business. So you've got all these tools, all this training, all this resource, and it's like, okay, now what do I do? Like, I don't know how to take the first step. So it could be that as well. So
yeah, I actually know a person personally who invested in a business coach. I think she probably paid about 5 figures for those services. Got strategy, got a website, got started, and never listed the first thing for sale.
Which is so, wow.
God.
I mean, it happens all the time.
It does. That is a very common thing.
Yep. I have a ton of, so kind of when online was coming about as far as online e-commerce, because I've been doing this a long time. We talked about that before I hit record.
47 years.
Maybe not that long, but that, like an online store, there's a big commitment to going online, especially when you were brick and mortar. So, you're stocking all your stuff in when you're brick and mortar. Well, finally, what I like to get through to people, it was just like, okay, if you don't put it online in the store, it's the same as if you have it hiding in your back room in the stock room and not bringing it out for customers to buy. So if you make the commitment, you need to go ahead. You've got to put it out there. So it's got to be a stocked store. So sometimes you just need to hear the hard thing to kind of get over the hump. So we're here for it today. We're either going to give you some actionable things. But if you need some tough love, we can give that as well.
So maybe let me ask it in a different question or a different way. But what is the one thing that's keeping you from moving forward? Because I see a few things in the chat. I'm going to see if we can get a little bit more before we start personalizing some unpacking how you should fix it. That's such a popular term now, but we're going to unpack all these problems.
Well, why don't we start with something that we just did recently when Jessica was out. So that'll give you time to think. And this will kind of give you an example. Jessica, you were 2 Tuesdays ago.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
She was out 2 Tuesdays ago. She was sick. And sometimes we freestyle these. Sometimes they're super produced. And it was going to be a freestyle. And then she was going to be out, which I can still freestyle with the best of them. But I thought, you know what? something I've been wanting to do. I wonder if I can do it. So I work great under pressure. I work better under pressure, better under a time frame. So 2 weeks ago, if you were here, you knew we did the comment challenge. Forgot exactly what I called it.
Comment
But
and engage. Comment and engage.
thank you.
That last part is most important.
Exactly. That is the most important. But what you might not have known is that that's something that we had been planning to do for like a year, almost a year, and something we just didn't have the bandwidth to do. So with T minus 60 minutes before the thing, there was a resource. So I pulled it all together, did the resource. Thank goodness Jessica did come in and was able to add a couple of pages to the document. But it all got put, in the area. It was able to be dropped for you, and it was a great learning topic. A lot of people took action on it and were able to get engagement. So, but the point is something we'd been putting off for a year. It was something that you needed, and who in the world? I mean, if it didn't come together, I still could have freestyled it, so I really wasn't boxed too bad into a corner. But I was able to deliver that, again, with the help of Jessica, thank goodness, but within an hour. So what huge thing. So had we have not boxed it into that hour, I probably would have worked on that for about a week.
Mm-hmm.
Really. And next week's topic is going to piggyback on that, the last 10%. So there were some things that could have been done better and that could have carried it a little bit further. So that last 10%. So we're going to talk about that next week. Identifying those things in your business. That last 10% is what makes huge revenue change in most cases. So, but you can't get to the last 10% if you don't do the first 10%. So that's what today's topic is actually doing the thing.
Exactly. And okay, so the first thing people said whenever we asked this was reels. I saw 2 people write in and say something about reels, Marcy, and it looks like Kimberly. You feel like reels are kind of holding you back in your business. And while they are an important part of your marketing strategy, I feel like reels of all things is the perfect example for imperfect action. And it's the reason people struggle with reels is because we all have that sense of feeling like we need to be buttoned up or look really professional, or depending on what your niche is, like it needs to be in a certain vein. When the reality is you just got to take imperfect action. Get a couple topics. If you have a blog, Kimberly, you might need to remind me of your niche. But you can think of Marcy, you've been around for a while too. So go back to a content class and get in that checklist one, the listicles one, where you have like 10 things that are going to help a person in your niche, and make a reel for each one of them. They don't have to look perfect. That's why imperfect action is so important, because what you don't want to do is be sitting here 6 months from now, a year from now, and still be having, if I asked you this question 6 months from now, it better be something different, is what I'm trying to say, because you better have taken it and just done the thing. And that's what imperfect action is all about. So
exactly. And gosh, once you do it a couple of times, it's so much easier. And then you're over that hump that it's like, God, why did I put this off so long? And look at then you get to the satisfaction of doing the thing. So there's this cycle, and we talk about it a lot of times. Tell it, Jessica.
Yeah.
Have the motivation.
Man, I used to just struggle, like, oh, I don't have any motivation. I can't do this. This is so hard. And that's true if you're not taking action. So contrary to popular belief, motivation doesn't just come from out of thin air. You're not going to just find motivation. Motivation is a product of action and doing something. It doesn't have to be, maybe it's not the thing that you need to be motivated to do, but something that helps you get some kind of small win or move forward or take imperfect action on something will create this beautiful ripple effect, chain reaction for finding the motivation to keep going.
Exactly. Think about it like fitness. No one wants to get up and do a plank or 30-minute routine exercise, whatever it is, go for a walk. No one really just jumps out of bed and is like, if on their first day and like, yep, let's do this. It takes that determination to get up and do it. But then once you feel better, you've gotten the win of doing it, it's easier to do it the next day and the next day and the next day when you start seeing some results from doing it. So getting started is hard. And that's what imperfect action is about. So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm doing a minute 30 plank now, finally. So shoulder and neck are killing me. But anyway, imperfect action. I'm doing it.
All right. Shannon says, I feel I need my social media platform set up in a business fashion. And I guess that's the answer to what's holding you back in your business. So, Julie?
Okay. So tackle.
Analysis paralysis, first of all. That's what that screams to me, because you don't have to be perfect on social media, and your niche is direct selling. So, and e-commerce. So you need to be relatable probably more than anything.
Right. So you're just going to pick one, your first, wherever you're going to be the most. For you, it's going to be Facebook or Instagram. Get one of them dialed in and decide, and again, you can go to Canva and do a cover. Perfect example. I'll give you a perfect example. Grit, grind, and grace. You would think we are designers, professional designers. You would think we would have a professionally designed cover on the page and the group with the call to action. But right now, there's not. It is just the beautiful picture of the women that Jessica's writing on a to-do list. Go back and do that.
I hear you.
Because we had to take imperfect action to bring that to life at that time. And it's not something that we've circled back to. So now we're in next week's topic of the last 10%. So Jessica's writing it back down because that's the last 10%. We need to go back, add the call to action, add the whatever. But we started, we're posting, we're getting people in, and we're making a difference. Okay, so that's a perfect example of just get started. Yes, it would have been great. And again, it seems very counter crazy that we didn't take that step, because it's way easier for us to execute on that than it is for you. In your mind, it is anyway. But we had to make the choice of, okay, this is what we can get done, and this is what we're going to do. Okay, so even us in our daily life, we have to make that choice of making imperfect action. Every single day we make imperfect action.
Yeah, because, the Grit, Grind, and Grace covers, while important, we have 3 other memberships that we run with. Frankly, Grit, Grind, and Grace is just getting off the ground. We're just kind of starting to do what we have planned for that. But we have hundreds of people in your social plan that are waiting on that top quality content to come out every single month. And we promise it to be delivered a month in advance. So on February 1st, March will be out. So a lot of times we have to make trade-offs. Yes, we could cut things back and scale things back, but we've set this business up to serve entrepreneurs of all levels. So we don't want to cut someone off. Like, we're not going to give up Academy, because that is our lower price thing where we can really help small business owners who maybe have no idea where to start. You guys are an Academy, you're here. I think we had a couple people who came into look at what we were doing and could not believe we were doing everything that we are doing and think we should cut everything out except for one, pick one thing and focus on that. And yeah, that we would get obviously a lot farther doing one thing, but then that would mean that we'd have to cut off a group of people that we still want to serve. So we're very, obviously, we're very passionate and convicted in not doing that. So trade-offs have to be made, and that's why we can both sit here and talk about imperfect action, because it has to happen for us every single day, because we're essentially a two-person team. We're adding people. Tracy, we see you, and we have a few VAs up and coming to help us be able to do more, and that's going to be great. So if you're sitting there, Shannon, and you're not making sales, like you're not reaching out for sales, you're not putting yourself out there because your social media platform of choice doesn't have a cover image that has whatever XYZ, that is something you got to overcome. Just throw a picture in there that you like and get going, because at the end of the day, your content is going to matter more.
Exactly.
Your content's going to reach more people.
And
now, I wouldn't put up something pink and fluffy if you sell elegant, expensive baskets. So you'll want to pick a picture, but you don't have to succumb to this analysis paralysis. That's a personal responsibility thing that, as a business owner, you've got to muster up the will to overcome.
Right. So I would say, even if it's just one, I like 3, but pick your 3 things that must get done to drive your business forward. Back it down to 1. If you can only do 1, I mean, it depends on the size of the task, but pick something today and do it to drive your business forward. Tomorrow, pick something and do it. It doesn't matter to the level that you do. I mean, give it your all. But again, we don't all have the same amount of bandwidth. Like, you may only have a 10-minute window to get something done. What can we do in that 10 minutes to drive our business forward? We have to look at that every day. If you ever knew me before, still am a recovering perfectionist. I mean, to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. So imperfect action is hard for me, really hard for me, but I embrace it and I do a whole lot better with it now, i.e. what I just talked about the cover. That's a really small example, but I mean, how crazy is that if you think about it?
I'll tell you, it went for months without being set up and finalized because we couldn't get to the cover.
Yeah. So then it was just like, okay, well, we're going to put the image up and start posting. Like, that one little thing was holding things up. So instead of, because we just didn't have the bandwidth to be able to get in, okay, what should it say? What's the call to action going to be? How are we going to do this?
Exactly.
Whatever. So, okay,
we need to put something else over there so that it's a lead magnet capture and all of that. No.
Right. Which we did a training on that. So when you want to go back and do the last 10%, there's a training in Take Action that shows you the exact steps. So we knew what needed to be there. And it's almost like you feel bad for not doing it all, but it doesn't matter. We were able to do it and get started. So
yeah, same goes for your blog, Shannon. There's just nothing that can do it for you. So, well, yeah, you could outsource it, but if you need to write some blogs, then you need to write some blogs, and you have to sit down and say, okay, I have this hour to create a blog, and you create a blog.
Right.
Get that SEO.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, Shannon is an affiliate marketer. So she, and Irene too. So, and then that's a big undertaking, really. I mean, it is. So to back it back down, I say pick one area, pick one product, and just pick your whatever you think is going to sell the best. Go look at some other people that have sold the same thing. You've got influencers out there that are selling stuff, all kinds of stuff. Go pick one thing and just start with that and see if you can get the success of a sale, and that makes you feel motivated to do the rest.
But if you're an affiliate marketer, your blog, it's your bread and butter.
Yeah, you've got to get traffic.
You've got to push people to
and social. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole thing takes, which makes it seem so big, is that, okay, I've got to get a website. I got to get the stuff on the website. I got to get a blog on the website. I got to be able to have the mechanism to sell. It all sounds so big. I need to build a social media presence. I need to build an email list. Scary. So back it down, baby steps.
One thing.
Yeah.
What's next?
And since I mentioned Irene, I'm going to say her comment really quick. It says, I can't seem to multitask. Hold on, Jess. So when I hit a roadblock, I tend to not go back and finish. So there's two things here, and I'm going to let Jess talk about the multitasking because
I have very
that's
strong
what she
opinions.
does. She's very passionate about multitasking. Irene's probably already heard it, but I tend to not go back and finish. So that is going to be the determination. That's what we're talking about next week is the last 10% is, that's what the last 10% is what is going to make it and push it over the top. And that's what you have to do. So you have to get in the mindset of, just like I talked about the cover. So Jessica wrote it down because she identified, hello, that's the last 10%er. We got to go back and do it because of the call to action, whatever. So when you don't feel like doing it, can't do it, whatever it is, make sure it's on the list so that when you feel rejuvenated or capable of doing it, you get back to it. We have a long list of 10% things.
I was just about to say, we were looking forward about halfway through last year. We loved content class. It was fun to bring that to you, but we were both looking forward to kind of this more raw, like business owner discussion because I think people really need it. And next week, I'm going to do you guys a solid and I'm going to show you a list of, it can't be exhaustive because I don't even think I have the time to really make it, but I can probably find 20 or 30 things within 5 minutes that are 10% done or are 90% done that we just lack that last 10%. And I want to show everyone that because I feel like we have the perception of, oh, I was having lunch with someone yesterday and they were like, I can't even imagine that level of success. You girls have it all together. Your emails are so perfect. I love your writing. I could never be that good at it. I can't do that. And I'm like, look,
God, if we can.
Here's the reality. It does not feel easy. And last week, my conversation, if you didn't see it and if you weren't here last week, I hosted this marketing minute on small business struggles. And I'm becoming a big proponent of normalizing the conversation around the small business struggle because everyone does it. And I think there's this like feeling that we have to hide behind what we think people need to see. And like there's almost a shame if things aren't going your way, if you did a launch and it's meh, or you can't even get to the point of a launch because you're so snowed under the idea of all the things Julie just listed, trying to set up an affiliate monetization. When you're trying to be an affiliate marketer, sorry. So there's a lot of struggle that happens. And the last 10% isn't necessarily a struggle. It's kind of just a display of what it takes to bring all of this together, to bring a business together. You can insert any business into that, not just ours. But obviously the list I'm going to show you guys will probably like, oh, we didn't even realize that was happening, or I didn't even realize that wasn't finished yet. That happens all the time.
And one thing that's on the list that will just probably blow your mind is everyone asks for content bundles all the time. There are at least 10 content bundles that are bottlenecked at the last 10%. Literally. I'll just say there's pamper. So this will force us into fixing the bottleneck, getting over the 10% when we have to. But there's Pampered Chef, or cooking and food, whatever. You don't have to be a Pampered Chef, but what else? Life coaching.
Almost done.
Travel, real estate will have Canva templates. VA. That's done, by the way, Jessica.
Yay.
Social media posting, like oh my God, I can't even think of what they all are, but they're bottlenecked at that 10%, last 10%. So I'm like the store owner that I talked about that's in the stock room and not out here to sell because of the last 10%. So, but again, we got a lot of last 10%. So we're making a plan just like you have to. So showing the realness is a big deal. So,
For sure.
all right. So Irene, you got to speak the 90-second speak of the multitasking.
Oh yeah. Multitasking is not a thing. It cannot be done. Like everyone who says that they can multitask, sorry, Julie hates it, but I believe this so strongly, and I see, sorry, but I see evidence that supports my theory. Like multitasking is not a thing, and it annoys me because it is such a popular thing. And like I used to put it on my resume, like good at multitasking, but that's not really what I meant whenever I'd say that I was good at multitasking. I am exceptional at managing multiple projects at once, but when it comes down to doing several things in the same 10-minute span, there's a popular quote from probably someone back in the dino ages that said, to do two things at once is to do neither well. And I think that there could not be something more true when it comes to talking about multitasking. It's just the human brain is not set up to think about things like that. And I am almost forced into multitasking just because there's so much going on. Not by Julie, but like if you see my list and I'm trying to do one thing and then I think about another, and then I fall into the trap of having 18 tabs open. My focus and productivity go down tremendously compared to, she was so offended. She left. No, she did not.
Oh no, now we lost Jess. I'm back. Come on back, Jess. Anyway, so I'll carry the conversation until she gets back. So there she is. Sorry. So now we're on the opposite
doesn't
side.
happen. So, but there's this big, like, I always felt guilty for being terrible at multitasking because I felt like I was terrible at multitasking. But Irene, do not feel bad. You're not meant to multitask. You make that list, you make it very detailed, and you focus on one thing at a time.
There. And you should try to complete that task before you move on to the next one. Else you'll have 90% things and nothing's really working for you. So, so time blocking is what Jessica says instead of multitasking. So just, you can have a bunch of tasks to do in a day. You just can only work on one at a time. So I say it, she hates it. Like I'm a plate spinner. I have to work on this. And mine has come from a self-induced necessity because I've taken on too much.
She was a one-person team.
Yeah, I didn't say no to anything. So then I'd have to work a little bit and get someone happy and work a little bit and get someone happy and work a little bit. And that's not a great way to work, but hey, whatever you have to do. Irene says her 10% list is huge. Now you have encouraged me to work on it. Exactly. And man, it feels so good. Make the list just so you can check it off. Like, and the 10%, sometimes they're small things that'll take only a couple of minutes. And sometimes they're, hard things. We have some of the things on ours are hard things, but that everyone's the same no matter what it is. So,
Shannon,
circle back. Yep.
So Shannon, you're asking questions that I know you have the answers to. Sorry. Little business mentor tough love here. All I need is a cover. What if I need to link it? So you were with us for a lot of Take Action. I know you have access to those trainings. We did exactly what you need to optimize all of your profiles except for TikTok.
If you choose to use it, yeah. We didn't do that in that.
And you go find.
I think we even have a cover for you. I'm going to go look after this. So go look in your deliverables.
Oh yeah, I think I actually I think I created some covers for you back several months ago.
Seems like there's a grid of
Mhm.
multi-products or something, but they may not be up to date now, but you should have the Canva file. And if not, we'll deliver that to you. But yes, so make a list of what has to happen. And then let's make sure you get on the right thing, on the right track to doing those, because man, the reward of business is amazing. So the reward that you feel at the end of the day, by getting stuff done and getting over that hump. You can do this. What about like hex codes? You don't necessarily have to have them. We probably need to do a little branding thing, but there's like all these little tricks. There's a little eyedropper. It's called Colorzilla that you can, it's a, what is it called? An extension for Chrome, a Chrome extension. It's called Colorzilla. It will let you just pluck colors.
I was trying to remind myself, just hey, it's Columbia University, right? You're a professor there. I was just saying, Jate echoes my sentiments.
And I will say a hex code is not going to make you any money either. So branding sometimes helps, yes, but
Not if you spend 6 months in the branding.
It's not going to matter. We have some things out there that are not our right color purple, and it's okay. I try to catch them. We have things designed by other people.
Catch them.
We try to catch them. It doesn't work. It goes out there. It's okay. We're just you can't sweat all the small stuff.
Oh man, Tina,
stuck in.
I'm attracting my people. Multitasking isn't a thing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It means you're stopping one thing to do another, 100%, and it just makes you feel good that you got distracted. Yeah, it's a great way to excuse distraction.
Yeah, I think people have the wrong definition of multitasking. I think they think that it's working on multiple projects like within a time span or whatever. But I agree, because a lot of times I'll work in the living room where my family comes in and out. And if I'm typing, I'm having a conversation with someone else. And if they're talking, I'm not listening to them, because you're not physically able to do two things at once. So that's kind of that multitasking. So I'm like, I'm having a conversation over here. You're going to wait until my fingers stop, because my brain is actively working on this one project. So I agree with, you can do the pat and the rub, whatever, but a lot of
people cannot.
No.
Cannot.
A lot of people, yeah. Anyway, but I agree that you can't just be physically working. Like, I've got to do this logo and then I've got to move on and do this cover. I can't, anyway. All right. So who else is like stuck that needs a little push? Kimberly said she was in skincare makeup reels. Seems like they require creativity. A little bit. I think you're new here. I'm a proponent of batching. So break it down, and one day just get a list of 10, and the next day, maybe I'm trying to think of how to further break it down, but really and truly, if you got a list of 10, if the first one's, whatever, try to execute on it and just put it out there. And again, the perfect thing about reels is that they're supposed to be imperfect. They're really supposed to be you talking about the hard stuff or the showcasing something or whatever. They're really meant to be a video of you. And
exactly.
I was going to say, I shouldn't be speaking on it because I don't do them. So, but only because I've made the conscious choice of I can't get to everything. So that's on the back burner for right now. Sometimes we have to make those hard choices. It's a great way to grow. Everyone should be doing it. Except me right now.
So my in-laws love to watch YouTube influencers in the RV camper travel niche.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to look at it from a marketing perspective and like what these people do to market themselves. And this one couple from the UK, yeah, they hadn't been doing it for a super long time, but now they have a huge following. And I know that the reason is because I heard him say this one thing, and this is relevant, I promise I'm bringing it back around. He said that if you're not looking back at what you did 3 months ago as a YouTuber and being just totally floored at how bad you were, then you're not doing it right.
I get that.
So, and that's 100% true. And what that means is that he started bad. He did the thing scared.
Imperfect action.
His shots were cruddy, crummy, bad angles, shaky camera, whatever. But the point is that he had to do those things in order to get a little bit better for the next video, and then get a little bit better for the next video. And maybe he learned some techniques on how to be engaging, or how to stop the camera shake, or how to get a more exciting angle, or he learned some things about cuts and what you have to include to get longer viewership on YouTube. But the point is that he started out not knowing what he was doing.
Right. And I guarantee you, he probably did not go take those first videos down, even though he's sort of mortified by them.
Yeah. And those first ones were not creative. They were not exceptional. Just like Kimberly, your first reels are not going to be super creative. They're not going to be probably what you want. But the point is that you get them out there and that you try to get 0.01% better the next time.
Right. Every single day, or however often you do it, you get a little bit better. In which somebody doing that, I'm going to call out, is Jate. Go Jate. Like, yeah. She's jumped on the Reels game video. Like, she is putting herself out there and doing a fabulous job.
Oh, are there training replays about how to batch content? I know we did some in office hours, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me what office hours that was last year. I'm trying to think in TAT if there was one that was relevant.
Probably in the content creation one, there probably is. Maybe we'll just, that's a good marketing thing.
I think the content creation one's up, isn't it? Let me see. I think it's already on an opt-in. I'll look for it. You keep the conversation going.
The conversation going. Let me see. Let me look through. Tina says, I'm stuck on Facebook groups. My group is small, so the time to play is now. And I avoid it because I haven't learned the ins and outs of Facebook groups. Well, awesome. All right. So with that, Facebook is still all in on groups for sure. That is where they want us having our conversations, because our newsfeed is not big enough for, all the things. So they want us business owners growing a community. So you're going to get a little bit better engagement on posts that you put out for your groups. So I'm going to say that you need to be focusing on engagement, ask engaging questions. You'll see that we're doing that a lot in the group now, just getting the engagement up. The more you get people to engage and talk, the other people that aren't talking are going to see the posts in their feed. So because it's signaling to Facebook that it's important, or people like it, or people are engaging with it. So try to really encourage the engagement and put out content, that micro content that supports whatever it is that you do. So whether it be tutorials or struggles or whatever, but really small topics that will just give value to your people. And then once you give value, people start to look for it, because it's like, oh, she had that one thing that was great. Maybe she's got some more. And then they'll come back to the group for that. You can also use guides. Like if you do have tutorials and things like that to help organize the content in the group, and that would be a good thing for you.
I found the thank you page, which has it embedded. I'm just trying to find the page that you go to. But yes, we have a training. It was the how to create it's a content theme one. So it's not necessarily about batching.
Oh, I got you. Okay. We have one. We'll see if we can find. And that one is it's just content dash theme. If you, I guess, was thinking though that I'm gonna drop this.
Yeah, there was a download for engaging Facebook. We sent it via email.
All right, I'm just going to drop this here. If anyone hasn't seen this TAT, it's free. TAT was a paid product that we did. That was one of 50 trainings. So they'll give you access to that free one and show you what that was like. But there might be batching in that. I feel like there is, but it's still going to help you. It's going to specifically help Tina because she just asked about like in her group. So if you have a content theme, you think about like engaging questions, behind the scenes tutorials, like what are things that are important to the people that are there, and it's not always on your niche. It could be other struggles. Like for us, it can be like things that are happening at home that are preventing you from doing things in your business, preventing you from taking action.
Case in point. Anyone else hear that 3-year-old screaming in the background for mommy?
It's all right. We understand how it goes.
She's standing at the bottom of the stairs.
So Veda says, wasn't there a download for engaging Facebook? Yeah, we just answered that, right? Friday. Go look for an email from us on Friday. There's a link there's no opt-in. I mean, if you're here, you're already on our list, so you shouldn't be scared to give us an email address, but there's no opt-in on this one. All you got to do is click it and it takes you to those questions. Use that questions to get some things started in your group. Tracy, thank you, Tracy. So I'm going to say really quick too, Tracy is helping us fabulously in our group as a community manager. She also wanted to welcome her to the Grit, Grind, and Grace community as well as a community manager, plus some other fabulous things. So thank you for all that you do in helping our group grow. And she says, there's a topic in Academy, designing reels and TikToks from pins and infographics. Yes, there is. There are so many topics in Academy. Because we've been doing lives for over 2 years now, so there's a lot.
In fact, based on feedback from those who have canceled their Academy membership, there may be too many topics in there.
Right. It might feel a little overwhelming. So you get it dripped now.
We're working on that. We're trying.
The new people, let's sign up and get it dripped. So, because when you come in and there's 52 topics in there on just whatever, it's a little overwhelming. All right. So anybody that we've missed typing, I mean, if you've had a question, drop it here really quick. We usually do these where you can go do a thing after. So we still would like for you to take a few minutes to make a list of maybe, something that you can take action on today, something that you've been procrastinating on. Savita, how's that course coming? Did you ever release it?
Dang, Julie, gonna just call her out like that.
Sorry, Savita. I love you. Marcy's going to do a reel. Kimberly's going to do a reel sometime this week. It doesn't even have to be today. Shannon is going to get a plan. We're going to find her.
Uh-oh, that's a bad time to cut off. Or is it me who cut off? I can't tell. But yeah, Shannon, we're going to make sure that you have everything. Tina is going to finish the draft to her landing page. Awesome. You're still here. Okay. Yeah. She is, I think she's back up on her farm. And sometimes that's a little spotty internet-wise. So I'm not sure. I'm sure she'll be right back. But yeah, that's going to be really exciting to finish the landing page. Just don't leave it as a draft for too long. We're kind of bad about that too. We have so many pages that are ready to go, optimized and everything, and just that last 10%.
Right. So if anybody, I missed the first part of that, but like if your thing is to design a website, just get a homepage. Okay. I mean, just get a homepage. So we just redesigned a new website. And this one went way easier than our regular socially inclined one. Grit, Grind, and Grace was a lot easier. So just pick one page, put your information on it. They make one-page websites now for that reason, because people get stuck. So just put the things that you need. I think so many people put so much importance on that, like they have to have a website to get started. You actually don't. Your Facebook group can be your website. Your Facebook page can be your website for now. So, but if that's something that's on your radar, execute.
For sure. All right, everyone. We're going to wrap up, but yeah, last 10% next week. I'm already kind of looking forward to it. So it's going to be a good one.
It's probably going to be some tough love on that too for us. We have a long list. So
it's going to be very eye-opening, I'm sure. In a good way. In a good way.
That's right. Tina says my website is nothing, LOL. It's my sales funnel and membership. Yep. Awesome.
Nice.
Exactly. And the perception that you need all of these things is really daunting, because at the end of the day, you don't. You need to have a voice, a place to get it out there, and a way to sell whatever it is that you sell.
Right.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us today. I hope this was eye-opening to, number one, just to see that other people like you are struggling with things as well. It's not just you, I promise. And then just set a goal to get something done imperfectly.
That's the key. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
See you next week.